3D print here, 3D print there. What do you think this is? Right, 3D print. Look over here, 3D print. This is a 3D print, that is a 3D print. The table is also a 3D print. This table, 3D print. The chair is also a 3D print. And this chair is also a 3D print. And the leg is also made on a 3D printer. My gosh, everything's 3D printed. Friends, hello everyone. Today we start a series where we visit homes and apartments all over the world to show you housing ideas from different countries that you can apply at your home. Today we are in Los Angeles visiting Jake. He has a 2-level penthouse where almost all the furniture is produced using a 3D printer. Let's go check out this unique place. Guys, since the apartment is on the top floor, there's a very interesting entrance. You walk straight from the parking, across a bridge, and reach the apartment itself. And here's Jake. Hey Jake!
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good. Let's show your apartment. Jake, please tell us who are you and what do you do?
I'm an architect and engineer.
Yep.
Right now I primarily design desalination facilities and technology, so ocean water to drinking water.
Jake, could you share how many square feet we have here?
200 square meters.
What's the ceiling height of the first floor and what's the ceiling height of the second?
It's about 15 feet on the first floor, 17 feet on the second floor, 32 feet full height, which is about 9 meters.
Guys, look, on the first floor, you'll find the kitchen, living room, and dining area. And the second floor has 2 bedrooms. And these 2 bedrooms, they're completely open. That is, there are no partitions. And there are also 2 bathrooms on the second floor and 1 bathroom on the first floor. Plus various utility rooms where you can hide all the clutter that accumulates in an apartment. What's the idea of your space? What did you initially want?
The overall concept is more natural forms and how the natural forms can make a different type of space than what you'd usually find at a loft space in Los Angeles.
What was the apartment like before the renovation?
I don't remember. It was a little darker and it was set up like a WeWork office space. Yeah, it was just desks and neon lights everywhere. But yeah, it wasn't set up as a home. Because this building is half working and half living.
Why did you use 3D printing?
With a 3D printer and 3D designing is you can control every aspect of what you're building. So from tables to lighting, from the computer to physical reality.
All this stuff, all this 3D stuff, did you make it using your own 3D printer or did you order any of it?
All small 3D prints from light to the lights here, different components within the house are all 3D printed upstairs. These are from Nagami in Spain. They are printed on very large robots and they're shipped here. So these are Nagami design and this is my design that I built in 3D in a program called Rhino and sent the files to them and they printed it within the week.
Do you live in this apartment permanently? Or is this apartment for periodic stays?
So I do mostly live here, but I also live in London. But this is my primary residence in California.
Friends, turns out in the kitchen we have 2 areas. One is the kitchen area, the other is the dining area. And they actually combine with each other. You know how? With tables. This is a bar table. Despite it being a bit low, I would actually make it a bit higher and put bar stools here. It matches with the dining table. And you see, here's a great trick you can use in your dwelling. For instance, you want to lighten the space, make it not so heavy. You can use glass surfaces. And here it's very cool. You see the legs are standing there and on these legs, they place tempered glass. This glass, it's not fixed. See, you can move it, shift it. So you need to be careful when you lean on these surfaces because they are not fixed. Plus the chairs are also glass. And overall it makes for a very light space. Jake's kitchen was inherited from the previous owners of this apartment. A large, massive metal stove. The same goes for the dishwasher. And of course a gigantic refrigerator in which you can put loads of food, soda, beer, everything. Actually, I think in the States there's some kind of obsession with giantism. All the food products there are sold in large volumes. And what's another feature here? Often, in American interiors, the microwave is combined with the hood like this. And in general, the ventilation system here in this apartment is arranged in such a way that it's open. This is a feature of loft styling when you can use industrial items in your space. And the most interesting thing is that since in Los Angeles there's no central heating system, the place is also heated using this ventilation system. Tell us please about the guest area. What do you have here?
Yeah, so for the rock furniture, I basically carved out with my hands from furniture foam that you would usually find in a sofa. And
Can I see?
yes, of course. Yeah. So it's surprisingly comfortable for something that looks like a rock.
Yeah.
But it's just dense foam that you just carve out with your hands. My cat has also made her revisions to this
Your cat is
sofa.
very artistic.
Yeah.
Like you. It's very, very comfortable. Actually, friends, an amazing idea. You can make a rock from the material that sofas are made from and make it by yourself. And it'll look like an art object, like something unusual. And here comes the foam furniture designer. Turns out he's pretty shy, so he decided to hide away. There's a sofa here that you can move around as you please. These modules, Jake custom made these modules by himself in 2 hours very quickly, and they're super functional. Felt like placing it in the center? Placed. Felt like it? Took it, moved it, and you have another place where you can sit. And you can disassemble them, make an amphitheater, do whatever you want. You can throw them at the cameraman. Tell us please, did you come up with everything here yourself, or did you work with a designer or an architect?
I did 100% of everything here myself. At least as far as the design work. Very few pieces in this apartment, as far as furniture and art goes, are from other designers. As much as I appreciate others, I wanted to do as much myself.
Admit it, you hosted a party here during the pandemic, didn't you?
I do not want to be canceled, so I am going to say no.
No.
We were on Zoom.
Zoom party.
Yeah.
Zoom party.
Do you have Zoom in Russia?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, yeah. We have problem with Tinder. Tinder doesn't work.
Well, maybe that's a good thing.
Please tell, what inspired you when you were coming up with the shape for these lights?
You know, I wanted a form of pleating to make it structurally stronger. They've been going through several iterations, but you can kind of see that this is one of the earlier ones, and these are some of the later ones, and eventually I'm going to change my mind and they'll look very different in probably a year. But it's about using the folds to be stronger and to bend the light, so when it's on, it diffuses the light so it's not directly in your eyes.
In the States, everyone's really concerned about the right things like recycling and everything else. Tell us, please, are 3D printers eco-friendly or not?
Well, 3D printing is, in my opinion, incredibly important because it's environmentally friendly, especially the filament that I use is already recycled from the ocean. I can then recycle the prints that did not they are not the final prints, but also you only use exactly this amount of filament. So there's almost no waste in the production process, where when you're molding different products or you're using other different prototyping methods, there's a lot more waste involved. But when you're printing this is exactly what comes out of the printer. There's no large amount of waste afterwards.
Friends, please write your questions about 3D printing. We'll try to answer them. Friends, when you come into the apartment, it turns out this thing made by cats. You can put something on it, leave your keys. And there's a small place where you can take your shoes. Behind this door, which we won't open at the request of Jake, it turns out, a closet. Actually, how are American interiors and European interiors different from the interiors of the CIS countries? Here, first of all, they walk on the floor in shoes and you don't need to take off your boots, so there are no shoe cabinets. And usually, in these interiors, there's no wardrobe for outerwear, but there's a whole separate room here. And here, while we were cleaning up this apartment, we came up with the introvert's corner. If you want to have some alone time, to hide away somewhere from the party, then you can sit on this chair under the stairs and gaze from afar at what's happening in the center of the apartment. Okay friends, here's a small bathroom, it turns out. There's a separate standing toilet and a sink. Friends, actually, this here's an open bedroom. This back part is a storage system. It turns out to be a big, dense closet. Opposite this storage system, there's an area where Jake does some sewing and he's got a second bedroom. Let's go, I'll show it to you. Here's an open space, and probably it's not very comfortable to live here as a couple. But if you leave a guest to stay the night, then it'll be nice. Sleeping area. In this spot here he works and he's got a great view. When he works, he gets inspired by the view of downtown in Los Angeles. Plus, I really like how the space opens up above. I mean, you can look from above down below and see what's happening, what for instance your friends are doing who are hanging out at your place below. Let's go, I'll show you one more room. This is a room dedicated to 3D printing. Actually, it's a bathroom, but it's been converted into a room for 3D printing. See, here Jake has 2 3D printers and a bunch of material to print various rocks, lamps, clothes, whatever he wants. On the second floor is the master bathroom. Here, as you see, is a small sink. Our sink, or rather the countertop that goes over the sink itself, and the shelves that Jake made himself. Everything's done with a 3D printer. That is, it's all printed. Well, and of course the bathroom, shower and toilet. This wall looks beautiful. See, there's a large number of various jars, perfumes and everything else that's arranged. It's all also made with a 3D printer that is printed. Friends, and of course you can use 3D printing in your own home. You can customize, make the space unique. And if big pieces of furniture will be expensive, then small items like lamps or items made from various parts, you can basically print on your own 3D printer. Moreover, you can use modular sofas, which you can also design yourself from simple blocks, then twist and turn them and rearrange as you like. And of course, you can ask your cat to make you a cool chair or some console out of furniture foam. Friends, I hope you enjoyed this issue. Be sure to write comments. See you in new videos.